Life today moves fast and demands a lot from us every single day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed by constant distractions, endless tasks, and the pressure to keep up with everything around us. Many people struggle to find peace and focus on what truly matters to them. This isn't just about managing time, it's about making real changes that improve your life and bring lasting happiness. In this guide, you'll discover clear, simple ways to cut out the noise that steals your energy and attention. You'll learn how to build daily habits that keep you steady, protect your mental space, and focus on your true goals. This is not about quick fixes or complicated advice. It's about practical steps you can start taking today to improve your mindset, strengthen your resilience, and create a life that feels meaningful. We'll explore how to say no to distractions that drain you, set boundaries that protect your peace, and invest time only in things that help you grow. You'll find ways to listen to your inner voice and let go of what holds you back. Every idea here is meant to inspire you to take action and stick with it, so you can move forward with confidence and purpose. If you're ready to stop feeling scattered and start living with intention, this is the right place. The changes you make won't just improve your days, they'll shape your future. Keep reading and you'll find the tools and encouragement you need to focus on what really matters and build the life you want. Chapter 1. Eliminate distractions that steal your peace and time. You don't need more time. You need fewer distractions. The truth is, peace isn't something you find in a distant location. It's something you create by removing what doesn't belong. If you constantly feel behind, overwhelmed, or unfocused, it's not because you're broken, it's because your attention has been hijacked. Distractions have crept into your life like background noise that slowly becomes unbearable. They disguise themselves as urgent tasks, tempting notifications, other people's opinions, and obligations that don't move you forward. And each one comes at a cost: your time, your mental clarity, your ability to think, feel, and live with purpose. The first step toward building a life that truly matters is to become aware of what doesn't. Because peace doesn't happen by chance. It happens by choice. A choice to remove the unnecessary and make space for what truly supports your growth. If your mind is always racing and your schedule always full, you're not living, you're reacting. You can't focus on what really matters when you're surrounded by noise that pulls you in every direction. You need to pause. You need to observe. You need to ask yourself, what is taking up my time, my mind, and my energy that gives me nothing in return? Distractions come in many forms. Some are obvious, like constantly checking your phone, getting lost in meaningless social media scrolling, or saying yes to everything because you feel guilty saying no, but others are more subtle. It might be the friend who constantly complains and leaves you drained, the habit of overthinking things that never happen, the endless to-do lists filled with tasks you don't even care about, the need to always stay busy, even if it leads you nowhere. These aren't harmless habits. They are slow leaks draining your focus, your energy, and your peace. You have to take full responsibility for your attention. You must protect it like it's your most valuable asset, because it is. Wherever your attention goes, your time follows. And wherever your time goes, your life follows. If you don't take control of it, someone else will. Every time you say yes to a distraction, you're saying no to something more meaningful. And when you do that enough times, you wake up one day and realize you've been living everyone else's life except your own. To eliminate distractions, you must first become radically honest with yourself. What are the things you keep doing out of habit that give you no peace? What are the people or platforms that leave you mentally exhausted? Where is your time going, and what are you getting in return? Start by tracking your time for 3 days. Be brutally specific. Write down how much time you spend on your phone, in front of the TV, in conversations that go nowhere, or multitasking. You might be shocked by how little time is actually spent doing things that move your life forward. Once you're clear, you have to make hard decisions. You can't keep everything. You're not meant to do everything. Not everything deserves a place in your life. The habit of trying to do more, be everywhere, and say yes to everyone is a distraction in disguise. It's a way of avoiding the discomfort of being still and facing what really matters. Growth requires focus. Focus requires elimination. You must be willing to disappoint others, to stay true to yourself. That's not selfish, it's necessary. Distractions don't just waste your time, they break your spirit. They keep you scattered, anxious and unsure of yourself. They make it difficult to hear your own thoughts, to feel your own needs, to see your own path. If you're always reacting, you're not creating, and if you're not creating, you're not growing. This chapter isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming intentional. You don't need to remove every distraction at once, but you do need to start removing the obvious ones now. Your life depends on it. Turn off notifications that don't serve you. Set time limits on apps that steal your focus. Choose a specific time of day when you check messages or emails. Don't let them interrupt you all day long. Create a quiet space where your mind can think. Remove items in your environment that don't align with your goals. Keep your desk clean. Keep your room simple. Keep your calendar focused. You don't need to fill your life with things to feel fulfilled. You need to make space for clarity. Say no more often. Not because you're rude, but because your time matters. You are not required to be available to everyone all the time. You don't owe anyone your peace. If someone or something consistently leaves you feeling empty, anxious, or confused, it doesn't belong. Protecting your time is protecting your future. If you don't respect your schedule, no one else will. If you don't protect your energy, someone else will drain it. One of the hardest but most important things you'll ever do is learn to sit in silence without reaching for a distraction. That silence is where your real self begins to speak. It's where truth lives. It's where your direction becomes clear. Don't be afraid of that space. Make time for it every day, even if it's just 10 minutes. No phone, no noise, no obligation, just you, your breath, and your thoughts. That space will change your life. It will show you what you've been running from. It will also show you what you've been missing. Make time for deep work. That means choosing one task, turning everything else off, and giving it your full attention. No multitasking, no switching tabs, just deep, focused, deliberate action. The more you practice this, the stronger your mind becomes. Focus is like a muscle. The more you train it, the sharper it gets. And the sharper it gets, the less overwhelmed you feel. Your stress drops, your productivity rises, your confidence grows. Take breaks that actually renew you. Not breaks where you scroll endlessly or distract yourself with more noise. Real breaks. Go outside. Breathe. Stretch. Walk in silence. Let your mind rest. If you don't rest intentionally, your body will force you to rest eventually. Burnout is not a badge of honor. It's a sign you've been ignoring the signals too long. Build rituals into your day that keep you grounded. Start your mornings without screens. Write down what matters most that day. Reflect on what you're grateful for. Block off time to work without interruption. End your day with reflection. What did I focus on today? What distracted me? What will I change tomorrow? These small shifts bring big clarity. You don't need to overhaul your life overmain, but you do need to take control of your day before the world does. When you begin eliminating distractions, you'll feel discomfort. That's normal. Your mind will look for ways to go back to the noise because it's familiar. You'll feel bored at first. You'll reach for your phone without thinking. You'll want to check your email every 5 minutes. That's not failure. It's habit. Stick with it. Discomfort is the price of freedom. Stay with it until peace becomes more comfortable than chaos, because it will. And once you taste that peace, real peace, the kind that comes from clarity and intention, you won't trade it again. You'll start to feel stronger. You'll wake up feeling clear. You'll go to sleep without regrets. You'll find yourself caring less about opinions that don't matter and focusing more on what does. Your goals will become simpler, your mind quieter, your purpose sharper. That's what happens when you remove the noise. You return to yourself. This chapter is not just a suggestion. It's a decision. A decision to take your life back from distractions that were never meant to lead you. A decision to stop reacting and start creating. To stop pleasing everyone and start honoring yourself. To stop wasting time and start living on purpose. You are not behind. You are not lost. You are simply buried under too much noise. Start clearing it today. Not all at once. Not perfectly, but deliberately. Moment by moment, one decision at a time. You are in control of your attention, you are in charge of your energy, and you are responsible for your peace. No one else is coming to do this work for you. No one else can eliminate what you've chosen to allow, but you can change it. You can choose less noise and more meaning. You can choose fewer distractions and more progress. You can choose a life that makes sense to you, not one that impresses everyone else. Cutting out the noise is not about becoming antisocial or disconnected. It's about becoming deeply connected to what's real. Real values, real goals, real peace, real progress. When you cut out the noise, you start hearing the truth. The truth of who you are. The truth of what matters, the truth of how much is possible when you stop chasing everything and start building something. From this moment forward, you get to choose what you allow. Choose with clarity, choose with strength, choose with purpose. Your peace is worth protecting. Your time is worth guarding. Your focus is worth fighting for. Everything you want in life, real change, real growth, real joy, starts with this one decision. Eliminate distractions that steal your peace and time. This is where your real life begins. Chapter 2. Clarify what truly matters in your life. Most people spend their lives chasing things they never chose for themselves. They follow routines they never questioned, pursue goals that don't belong to them, and accept stress as normal because everyone else seems to be doing the same. But just because something is common doesn't mean it's right. There comes a point when you have to stop and ask yourself, what am I really doing all this for? If you never pause to ask that question, you'll keep living a version of life that feels busy but not meaningful. Clarifying what matters isn't about adding more, it's about going deeper. It's about getting honest with yourself about what truly deserves your time, energy, and attention. When your days are filled with things that don't match your values, something always feels off. You might not be able to explain it, but there's a restlessness that follows you. That feeling isn't weakness. It's a signal. It's your inner voice telling you that you've drifted too far from what really matters. And that's not something you fix by working harder or staying busier. It's something you fix by slowing down and getting clear. Clarity gives you direction. Without it, you're just moving through life, reacting to whatever comes next. You take on responsibilities that don't serve you. You say yes when you mean no. You chase goals that leave you empty. You compare your path to people you don't even know. And with every step, You lose a little more of yourself. That's the cost of not knowing what matters. You end up living a life that looks good on the outside but feels wrong on the inside. The first step toward clarity is stepping away from the noise. If you're constantly absorbing everyone else's opinions, scrolling through endless content, and keeping up with the pressure to do more, you'll never hear your own thoughts clearly. You have to create space. Physical space, mental space, emotional space. Even just 10 minutes a day where you sit with your own thoughts can begin to shift things. It may feel unfamiliar at first, but that space is where truth begins to rise. Once you've created space, the next step is asking better questions. Instead of asking, "What should I be doing?" ask, "What matters to me? What do I want more of in my life? What do I want less of? Who makes me feel stronger? What moments give me peace? What activities make me feel alive?" These aren't questions you rush through. These are questions you return to again and again because they reveal the core of who you are. You may realize that what you've been chasing was never yours to begin with. Maybe it was someone else's dream, someone else's approval, someone else's version of success. That realization isn't failure, it's freedom. Because now you can choose differently. You can begin to rebuild your life around what actually fits you. Not what looks impressive, not what pleases everyone else, but what truly supports your growth, your peace, and your purpose. You don't need to figure everything out at once. You just need to get clear on a few essential things. What values do you want to live by every day? What kind of person do you want to be when no one's watching? What habits help you grow stronger? What goals actually inspire you? Not because they're trendy, but because they matter deeply to you. Those are the answers that guide real change. Clarity isn't about overthinking every decision. It's about living with intention. When you know what matters, you don't need to waste energy on things that don't. You stop second-guessing yourself so much. You stop trying to do it all. You begin to live on your own terms, even if that means taking a slower path or choosing things others don't understand. That's what it means to live from the inside out instead of the outside in. One of the most powerful things you can do is write down what matters most to you. Not in a way that sounds impressive, but in a way that feels honest. Maybe you value health, honesty, simplicity, creativity, family, or freedom. Whatever those core values are, they need to shape how you live. Every day, ask yourself, did I live in alignment with what matters to me? If not, what pulled me away? And what will I do differently tomorrow? Don't wait for some perfect moment to get clear. Clarity comes from action, not just thinking. Try new things. Remove what feels heavy. Pay attention to how you feel after you spend time with certain people or do certain activities. Are you energized or drained? Inspired or irritated? Motivated or numb? Your emotions are data. Use them to understand what matters. If something keeps making you feel smaller or stressed, it's probably not aligned with your values. Choosing what matters also means being willing to walk away from what doesn't. That takes courage. You may lose things that once felt familiar, old routines, relationships, roles you've outgrown, but what you gain is far more valuable. You gain a life that reflects who you really are. You gain peace of mind. You gain the strength that comes from knowing you're living with purpose, not pressure. Clarity isn't static. It evolves as you grow. What mattered to you 5 years ago might not matter today. And that's okay. You're allowed to change. What's important is that you keep checking in with yourself. Keep asking those hard questions. Keep making adjustments. That's how you stay aligned. That's how you stay grounded. That's how you avoid drifting through life in a direction you never chose. When you live with clarity, everything changes, decisions become easier. Stress levels drop. You stop overcommitting. You stop wasting time on things that don't add value. You start making choices that reflect your real priorities, and little by little, your life starts to feel more like it belongs to you. Not because everything is perfect, but because everything is real. You don't need to do what everyone else is doing. You need to do what makes sense for your own values and goals. If that means taking longer to reach your destination, so be it. If it means having fewer friends but deeper conversations, that's worth it. If it means stepping away from things that look good but feel wrong, do it. Clarity means you no longer settle for things that only look right. You wait for what feels right. It's easy to fill your days with distractions and call it productivity. It's easy to check off tasks and feel accomplished. But busyness doesn't equal purpose. If what you're doing doesn't connect with what you care about, it's just movement, not progress. And if you keep choosing movement over meaning, you'll always feel like something is missing. That feeling won't go away until you stop and realign. Clarifying what matters isn't a one-time event. It's a lifelong process. You do it every time you choose peace over pressure, values over popularity, depth over convenience. You do it every time you make a choice that aligns with who you want to become, not just who you used to be. That's how you build a life that feels full, not full of things, but full of meaning. This is your life, your time, your energy. You don't owe it to everything. You owe it to what matters. And the sooner you get clear on what that is, the sooner everything else starts to make sense. You don't have to chase everything. You just have to focus on what's real, what lifts you, what builds you, what brings you peace. At the end of the day, you are not here to impress. You are here to live with intention. You are here to use your time wisely. You are here to build something real, and that begins with clarity. Every day you have the chance to choose what matters and to walk away from what doesn't. That choice is always yours. Use it well. Chapter 3. Build strong daily routines that keep you grounded. You can't control everything in life, but you can control how you begin and end each day. What you do consistently has more impact than what you do occasionally. Routines are not just about managing time. They are about managing energy, direction, and stability. When you wake up every day without a clear rhythm, you rely on willpower, and willpower runs out quickly. But when you set up a reliable structure, you don't have to decide what matters each morning. You already know that structure holds you together when the world becomes chaotic. It gives your mind something to lean on. It keeps you from being pulled in every direction. A strong routine doesn't mean every minute of your day is scheduled. It means you've made intentional decisions about what anchors you. It means you don't leave your mental state to chance. It means you start and end your day with purpose instead of pressure. Without structure, your mind becomes reactive. You jump from one thing to the next. You chase urgency. You lose focus. But when your days have a rhythm, you feel grounded, calm, and centered even when life throws things at you. The way you begin your morning often determines how you feel throughout the day. If you start with stress, chaos follows. If you start with clarity, you lead with control. A powerful morning doesn't require hours, it requires commitment. It could be as simple as waking up at the same time, moving your body for a few minutes, drinking water, sitting in stillness, writing down your intentions, or doing one thing that reminds you who you are and what you're working toward. The point is not to copy someone else's routine, but to build one that speaks to your values and goals. When you wake up with intention, Instead of reacting to your phone or diving straight into obligations, you claim ownership of your time. You remind yourself that you are not just here to survive the day, but to live it on purpose. That shift in mindset doesn't happen by accident. It happens when you consistently choose small actions that set the tone for how you want to show up. You don't need to do everything, just enough to begin your day grounded and aware. As your day continues, routines give you a rhythm to return to. It's not about being robotic. It's about knowing what matters and making sure those things don't get lost in the noise. This could mean having set times for your deepest work, taking intentional breaks, or pausing to check in with your energy levels. When your day has predictable patterns, you create a flow that reduces decision fatigue and increases your ability to stay focused. Grounded routines aren't just about productivity, they're about protecting your emotional well-being. A day without structure leaves space for overwhelm to grow, but a day with rhythm builds momentum. When you know what to expect, your mind can relax. You're not constantly trying to figure out what's next. You're not chasing the clock or being pushed by urgency. You're moving with purpose, not pressure. Evening routines matter just as much as morning ones. How you end your day sets the tone for your rest and your next beginning. If you finish the night with overstimulation, your mind doesn't settle. If you carry stress into sleep, you wake up feeling behind. But if you create a calming end to your day, you signal to your body and mind that it's time to let go. This might mean putting your phone away an hour before bed, writing down what you're grateful for, preparing for tomorrow, reflecting on your progress, or simply breathing deeply in silence before sleep. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. It's progress. If you miss a day, you don't start over, you keep going. Routines are not about control for the sake of control. They are about building a container for your energy, so it's not constantly spilling in every direction. You get to decide what belongs in your day and what doesn't. You get to shape your life one habit at a time. The mistake many people make is trying to change everything at once. But routines are built one action at a time. Start with one habit that makes your life better. Make it non-negotiable. Attach it to something you already do. If you drink coffee every morning, use that time to review your goals. If you brush your teeth at night, follow it with 10 minutes of reading. Stack your routines onto existing actions so they become automatic. The more effortless they feel, the easier it is to maintain them. Don't wait for motivation. Motivation comes and goes. What stays is discipline, and discipline grows stronger with repetition. When you act in alignment with your values every day, you don't just feel more productive, you feel more in control. You feel proud of yourself, and that pride builds confidence. That confidence pushes you to do more of what serves you. That's how momentum builds. That's how grounded routines become a lifestyle instead of a temporary phase. Every person's routine will look different, and it should. You're not here to copy someone else's life. You're here to build one that fits you. That means being honest about your needs. Some people need more time in silence. Others need movement or structure. The key is not what you do. It's that you choose it with intention, that you do it consistently, that it reflects what truly matters to you. When life feels uncertain, your routines become your anchor. When everything else is shifting, you still have something steady to return to. That steadiness doesn't come from outside circumstances. It comes from what you've chosen to repeat each day, and over time that repetition shapes your identity. You become someone who follows through, someone who keeps promises to themselves, someone who doesn't wait for the perfect time to live intentionally. Grounded routines are not built in a rush. They are built slowly, with care and attention. You experiment. You adjust. You remove what doesn't work. You keep what strengthens you. You don't need to get it all right today. You just need to start building something you can rely on. Something that makes you feel centered even when the outside world is anything but. You don't have to wait for life to calm down before you build structure. You build structure so that life doesn't overwhelm you. You create routines to make space for what matters. You protect your peace by planning your priorities. You guard your energy by choosing habits that renew you. You simplify your choices by knowing what your day is meant to look like. A strong routine isn't rigid. It's flexible enough to bend when life changes, but strong enough to bring you back when you drift. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just needs to be yours. If you feel scattered, start small. If you feel overwhelmed, simplify. If you feel lost, return to your values. Use them to shape your day. Use them to guide your actions. Use them to build a life that makes sense to you. The world moves fast, and the pressure to keep up is constant. But you don't need to move with the chaos. You can choose a different pace. You can build rhythms that protect your focus. You can shape days that leave you with energy instead of exhaustion. You can live with clarity instead of confusion. And it starts with what you do every day. Not someday, not when things are easier, but now. Your routine is not just a schedule, it's a reflection of what you believe about yourself and your future. When you choose discipline, you build trust. When you repeat what works, you build strength. When you protect your time, you build freedom. That is what it means to stay grounded in a world that constantly tries to pull you off course. You don't have to do it all at once. You just have to begin with one strong step and take it again tomorrow. Chapter 4. Say no to things that drain your energy. Saying yes is easy. It feels polite, helpful, agreeable, but every yes has a price, and most people never stop to measure it. They agree to things out of habit, guilt, fear, or pressure. They give their time to requests that don't serve them. They stretch themselves thin, trying to be everything to everyone. But each time you say yes to something that drains you, you say no to something that matters. You give away your energy, your clarity, and your peace. The truth is, learning to say no is not about rejection. It's about protection. It's not about being selfish. It's about being responsible with your life. You can't grow, heal, or focus when your energy is scattered across people, tasks, and obligations that don't belong to your path. You don't owe your presence to everything that asks for it. You don't need to explain your boundaries to people who don't respect them. You don't need to carry responsibilities that aren't yours. The world will keep asking more of you if you never set limits, and it's not the world's job to protect your energy. It's yours. Start by paying attention to how you feel after every commitment. Do you feel alive, calm, motivated, or do you feel tired, irritated, and depleted? Your body tells the truth before your mind rationalizes it. If something constantly leaves you drained, that's data, that's information about what doesn't belong. You don't have to overthink it, you just have to trust it. Energy is your most valuable resource, and it's being spent whether you realize it or not. Many people confuse being nice with being available, but constant availability leads to burnout. You can be kind without being a doormat. You can be helpful without abandoning your own needs. You can care without overextending. When you say no to the wrong things, you create space for the right ones. You protect your focus, your creativity, your relationships, and your well-being. No is not a rejection of others. It's a commitment to yourself. Saying no gets easier when you're clear about what you value. When you know what matters, Anything that doesn't align becomes easier to turn down. But if you're unclear, everything feels urgent. Every invitation feels important. Every favor feels necessary. And slowly, your life becomes filled with things that look good on the outside, but leave you empty on the inside. Clarity creates strength. When you're grounded in your priorities, you don't need to justify your no. It speaks for itself. One of the most important things to realize is that you are not responsible for how others feel about your boundaries. You are responsible for communicating them clearly and respectfully, but not for managing someone's reaction to them. If someone takes your no personally, it doesn't mean you did something wrong. It often means they've benefited from your lack of boundaries in the past, and that's not your problem to fix. You don't have to be rude. You don't have to explain yourself in long paragraphs. You don't have to make excuses. A simple and clear no is enough. That doesn't work for me. I'm not able to commit to that. I need to protect my time right now. These are complete sentences. You're not obligated to attend every event, respond to every message, or accept every opportunity. Not everything is meant for you. Not everything supports your path. You must learn to guard your space the same way you guard your money. Your time and energy are worth more than anything you can buy. Look at your week. Where are you spending time that leaves you drained? Who are the people that constantly take but never give? What tasks are you doing that no longer serve your goals? What habits leave you feeling sluggish and stuck? Start removing them one by one. If you can't remove them immediately, reduce them. If you can't reduce them yet, prepare to exit them. You're not meant to live a life of constant depletion. That's not strength. That's neglect. You are not obligated to stay in draining friendships, draining conversations, or draining situations. Loyalty means nothing if it costs you your peace. Being busy doesn't mean being effective. Being helpful doesn't mean being healthy. You can do good in the world without destroying yourself in the process. You can make a difference without being consumed by the demands of others. Your presence is not a service, it's a choice. Some of the most successful, focused, and peaceful people have one thing in common. They've mastered the art of saying no. They don't commit to what doesn't excite them. They don't participate in drama. They don't overfill their calendar. They know what drains them, and they stay away from it. This discipline gives them the clarity to focus on what truly matters. It gives them the space to grow, think, rest, and create. You don't need to wait until you're burned out to start protecting your energy. You don't need to hit a wall before you start making different choices. You don't need permission to say no. Every time you say no to something that depletes you, you say yes to something that nourishes you. That could be more time for rest, more space for reflection, or more freedom to pursue what brings meaning to your life. Start small. Say no to things that you know don't align. Say no to conversations that leave you anxious. Say no to events that don't excite you. Say no to pressure that doesn't fit your season. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. At first, you'll feel guilt. That's normal. You've been conditioned to believe that pleasing others is more important than honoring yourself. But over time, that guilt fades, and something stronger replaces it: self-respect. As your boundaries strengthen, people might fall away. Not everyone will like the new version of you who values your time and protects your peace. That's okay. The people who truly care about you will respect your no. The ones who don't were never really for you. Relationships built on obligation are never stable. Relationships built on truth, honesty, and mutual respect will grow stronger when you set clear limits. Protecting your energy means being honest about your limits. It means recognizing when you're at capacity. It means not pushing yourself to do more when you need to rest. It means knowing that your worth is not tied to your productivity. You are allowed to do less. You are allowed to slow down. You are allowed to choose quality over quantity in every area of your life. The world will always try to add more to your plate. It's your job to know when enough is enough. It's your responsibility to say no when something costs you more than it gives. Saying no doesn't mean you're weak, it means you're wise. It means you'll understand that your energy is sacred, and you refuse to waste it on things that don't matter. Every time you say no to something that drains you, you give yourself back a piece of your life. You reclaim your focus. You rebuild your strength. You renew your peace. These aren't small wins, they are the foundation of a fulfilling life. Your time is limited. Your energy is finite. You get one life. Fill it with what fuels you. Honor your needs. Protect your space. Respect your limits. And say no without apology, because your peace is your responsibility, and you deserve to keep it intact. Chapter 5. Simplify your environment to support clear thinking. When your surroundings are cluttered, your mind often follows. You may not notice it at first, but over time, the things piling up around you begin to crowd your thinking. You find it harder to focus, harder to breathe deeply, harder to make decisions. Many people underestimate how much their physical environment affects their mental clarity. You can't build peace in your life while living in chaos. If you wake up to a messy room, it sets the tone for the day. If your workspace is full of random papers, distractions, and half-finished tasks, it becomes hard to concentrate. Your brain constantly processes what's around you, even when you're not aware of it. You don't need a perfect space. You don't need expensive furniture or trendy decor. What you need is simplicity. A space that reflects calm. A space that helps you think, not distracts you. Clearing your environment is about removing the unnecessary so the essential can breathe. Start by looking at what you live with every day. Look at your bedroom, your kitchen, your workspace. Ask yourself, does this item help me, or does it weigh me down? Do I use this often, or has it been sitting here for months without a purpose? Do I feel lighter when I see this, or do I feel burdened? These questions aren't just about objects. They're about your relationship with your environment, and those relationships either build clarity or create friction. Clutter often comes from delay. We hold on to things just in case. We avoid making decisions. We postpone small tasks until they pile up into something big. But every delayed decision becomes a mental weight. It stays in the back of your mind, quietly stealing your energy. Letting go of that clutter is not about being ruthless. It's about being honest. Honest about what you need. Honest about what no longer serves you. You don't have to simplify everything at once. In fact, you shouldn't. It's better to move slowly and deliberately, one space at a time. When you clean out a drawer, you're not just making space, you're building a habit of clarity. When you sort through papers and discard what's outdated, you're sending a message to your mind that it's okay to let go of what's no longer useful. The more you practice this, the more natural it becomes, and the more your mind starts to mirror that order. Simplifying your environment also gives you back control. When life feels uncertain or overwhelming, one of the quickest ways to regain a sense of calm is to take action in your space. Organize a shelf, make your bed, clear your desk. It might seem small, but it restores a sense of power. You're no longer at the mercy of the mess. You're creating order, even if it's just in one corner of your life. That order has ripple effects far beyond the room you're standing in. A simple environment reduces mental noise. It eliminates distractions before they start. When you walk into a space that's clean, organized, and intentional, your body relaxes, you breathe easier, your thoughts settle, you become more present. This is especially important when you need to think deeply, solve problems, or make decisions. Your mind works better when it's not competing with visual chaos. It's not just about physical clutter, either. Digital clutter counts too. The messy inbox, dozens of browser tabs, apps you never use, these all pull at your attention. They add invisible weight. Taking time to clear out digital spaces is just as powerful as clearing physical ones. Every file you delete, every email you archive, every unused app you remove, it all adds up to more mental space, more clarity, more freedom to focus on what matters most. You deserve to live in a space that supports your best thinking, a space that feels like a deep breath, a space that welcomes you rather than overwhelms you. This is not about perfection, it's about function. It's about creating an environment that helps you stay connected to your goals, your values, and your peace. When your surroundings align with your intentions, your actions become easier to follow through on. Many people try to solve their stress by doing more, but often the answer is not more. It's less. Less clutter, less distraction, less noise. Simplifying your space often leads to simplifying your schedule, your relationships, and your commitments. It creates a domino effect. Once you see how much peace a clear space brings, you start to crave that peace in other areas of your life. You begin to ask yourself, what else can I let go of? What else can I simplify? You don't need to wait for the perfect time. Start now. Start with one drawer, one shelf, one surface. The act of clearing is more powerful than the size of the task, and every small change adds up over time. Your space begins to reflect your clarity. It becomes a mirror of your growth. And when that happens, you'll find it easier to stay focused, calm, and intentional, not just at home but in your entire life. What you allow into your environment shapes your thoughts. It influences your emotions. It affects your choices. This is why simplicity matters. A calm space creates a calm mind. A clear room supports clear thinking. A simplified environment doesn't just look better. It helps you feel better. It helps you think more clearly. It helps you act more decisively, and those small changes, repeated daily, can change the entire way you live. The more you simplify, the more you realize how little you actually need to feel balanced. You stop chasing external comfort and begin building internal clarity. You stop organizing clutter and start removing it completely. You stop trying to control everything and instead focus on creating a space that allows you to focus, rest, and grow. Simplicity is not the absence of things, it's the presence of what truly supports you. Your space is an extension of your mind. It speaks on your behalf. It influences your mood, your productivity, your creativity, and your peace. Treat it with the same care you give your goals. Keep it intentional. Keep it simple. Keep it aligned with who you want to become. Because every time you clear your environment, you give yourself the chance to think more clearly, live more calmly, and move through the world with greater ease. And that is a power worth protecting. Chapter 6. Create boundaries that protect your mental space. You don't have to explain yourself every time you protect your peace. Your mental space isn't public property. It doesn't exist to be constantly accessed, interrupted, or pulled in every direction. If you're constantly feeling overstimulated, tired, and emotionally scattered, one of the most important things you can do is examine how available you've made yourself to people, noise, and demands that don't align with your well-being. Most people don't realize how much of their stress comes from constantly giving access to their inner space without checking who's entering, what they're leaving behind, and how often they're coming in. We live in a world that rewards constant connection, but what it rarely talks about is how mentally expensive that can be. Every message you respond to instantly, every favor you agree to without pause, every opinion you entertain out of politeness, it all adds up. It doesn't just take your time, it clutters your mind. And when your mind is full of what everyone else wants, needs, or thinks, there's little room left for you to focus on what matters most to you. That's when you begin to feel anxious without knowing why, exhausted even after a full night's sleep, and irritable over the smallest things. These are not just mood swings, they are signs that your internal boundaries are being crossed. Creating boundaries is not about becoming cold or distant. It's about becoming intentional. It's about deciding what gets in and what stays out. You get to choose who you give your emotional energy to. You get to choose how often you're available. You get to choose when to pause, when to rest, and when to step away from conversations that feel more like obligations than connections. If you wait for others to respect your space without ever defining it, you'll be disappointed again and again. People don't always know when they're overstepping. That's why it's your job to make it known. One of the biggest shifts in protecting your mental space comes when you stop giving automatic yeses. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you create mental friction. You agree with your mouth, but not with your heart. And that tension lingers long after the conversation ends. Sometimes the hardest boundary is the one where you simply give yourself permission to pause. You don't answer immediately. You don't react out of pressure. You take a breath. You ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Or am I afraid of disappointing someone? That moment of pause gives you clarity, and from clarity, you can act, not react. You're not here to be constantly accessible. You don't owe people unlimited updates, explanations, or your emotional availability on demand. You're allowed to step back without guilt. You're allowed to put your phone on silent. You're allowed to walk away from conversations that keep circling the same negativity. Not because you don't care, but because you care enough about your own mental clarity to not let it be contaminated by things you can't fix or change. Protecting your mental space doesn't mean you shut people out. It means you stop letting chaos live inside you. There's also the boundary of information. We often think only people demand space, but content does too. The constant stream of news, opinions, videos, and noise can take a toll. Just because you have access to everything doesn't mean you need to consume it all. Ask yourself, how much of what I scroll through actually makes me feel calm, focused, or inspired? And how much of it leaves me feeling tense, irritated, or distracted? The internet can be a powerful tool, but if it's your default environment, you risk letting your attention get hijacked. One of the simplest ways to protect your mind is to limit what you allow in front of your eyes and into your ears. Your calendar is another place where boundaries need to be clearly drawn. It's easy to fill it with things that look productive on the surface, but are actually draining you. Meetings you don't need, catch-ups you don't enjoy, obligations that only leave you depleted. The key is to start questioning what you're scheduling. Is this really necessary? Does this contribute to the life I'm trying to build? Is this the best use of my energy? When you guard your time, you guard your mind, because when your days are filled with what matters, your mind becomes more focused, less scattered, and easier to live in. Some people will not like the version of you that starts setting limits. That's okay. You don't exist to keep everyone comfortable. You're not rude for needing space. You're not difficult for choosing rest over constant engagement. You're not selfish for saying, "I don't have the capacity for this today." That's called self-respect. And self-respect often comes at the price of disappointing others. But you're not here to sacrifice your mental health for someone else's expectations. You're here to live with intention, and that requires being firm about what you allow into your mind and life. Not everyone needs access to your thoughts. Not everyone deserves to hear your plans. Not every conflict needs your attention. The mental space you protect becomes the space you think, grow, heal, and decide. And when that space is messy, everything else becomes harder. Your ability to make decisions weakens. Your sleep suffers. Your creativity dries up. But when you actively protect your peace, you start to see clearly again. You make choices with confidence. You listen to your instincts. You get more done, not because you're busy, but because you're not constantly distracted by what doesn't matter. It's easy to feel guilty when you first start creating boundaries. You'll second-guess yourself. You'll wonder if you're being too harsh or distant. That's normal. Most of us are trained to prioritize everyone else first, but the more you practice standing firm, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, protecting your mental space isn't something you need to think about. It becomes part of how you live. You learn to spot what doesn't belong in your world. You learn to walk away from what drains you. You learn to stay close to what grounds you. And maybe that's the real point, not just to survive the chaos of life, but to create a quiet strength within yourself. A mental space where you can hear your own thoughts clearly, where you can sit in silence without feeling anxious, where you don't feel the need to over-explain, overwork, or overextend. A space where peace isn't a distant concept, but a daily experience you choose and protect. Not just once, but again and again. That's how you take care of your mind. That's how you take your power back. Chapter 7. Strengthen your focus by reducing digital clutter. The digital world surrounds us constantly, pulling attention in every direction. Notifications pop up, emails pile up, messages demand instant replies, and social media scrolls endlessly. These digital distractions may seem harmless, but they chip away at your ability to focus. When your mind is flooded with alerts and information, it becomes difficult to concentrate on what truly matters. Reducing digital clutter is not about abandoning technology. It's about taking control of how technology serves you instead of controlling you. Start by acknowledging how often you check your devices. Many people do it unconsciously, reaching for their phone the moment there's a pause. This habit trains your brain to expect constant stimulation, making it harder to sit with your own thoughts. Being available 24/7 can make you reactive instead of proactive. You respond to whatever appears instead of choosing what deserves your attention. Breaking this pattern is the first step toward regaining your focus. Begin by auditing your digital environment. Look at your apps, your email inbox, your social media accounts, and your browser tabs. Which of these are necessary? Which add value? Which ones only distract or drain you? Be honest with yourself. It's tempting to keep everything just in case, but holding on to too much creates mental noise. Deleting apps you rarely use, unsubscribing from emails that clutter your inbox, and closing unnecessary browser tabs frees your mind from constant interruption. These actions clear your space and invite calm. Notifications deserve special attention. They're designed to grab your attention at any cost. The red badges, the beeps, the vibrations, they all trigger your brain's reward system, pulling you away from deep work. Disable notifications that aren't urgent. Allow only the essential alerts to break through. Set specific times to check your email and messages instead of reacting the moment they arrive. This discipline trains your mind to focus for longer periods without distraction. Another way to reduce digital clutter is by organizing your files and digital workspace. When your desktop is filled with icons and your folders are unorganized, it creates visual chaos. Searching for files wastes time and interrupts your flow. Develop a system that works for you. Clear folders, labeled files, and regular cleanups. A tidy digital workspace fosters mental clarity. It becomes easier to focus when you know exactly where to find what you need without frustration. Social media can be one of the biggest focus killers. Endless scrolling keeps you in a passive state, consuming content without real purpose. Consider limiting your social media use to certain times or for specific reasons. Be selective about the accounts you follow. Unfollow or mute anything that doesn't add value, positivity, or inspiration to your day. When you curate your feed thoughtfully, your digital world becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of distraction. Technology offers many tools for focus, but only if used intentionally. Apps that block distracting websites during work hours, timers that help you work in focused intervals, and minimalist interfaces can all support concentration. Experiment with different strategies to find what suits your rhythm. Remember, tools alone won't fix the problem. It's your habits that matter most. Build rituals around how and when you engage with digital devices. Set clear boundaries around your screen time. Decide in advance how long you will spend online, and stick to it. This creates a sense of control and prevents hours from slipping away unnoticed. Use breaks away from screens to reconnect with your body and surroundings. Physical movement, fresh air, or quiet reflection can reset your mind and prepare it for renewed focus. Balance between digital engagement and offline presence is essential for sustained mental clarity. One powerful practice is digital fasting, taking extended breaks from screens. Whether it's a few hours, a day, or even a weekend, stepping away from digital noise allows your mind to rest and recharge. During these breaks, notice how much clearer your thoughts become and how much easier it is to focus afterward. This habit trains your brain to crave presence over distraction. Be mindful of multitasking in the digital world. Switching between tasks, apps, or tabs divides your attention and reduces productivity. The brain isn't built for constant task switching. Instead, dedicate blocks of time to a single task with your digital distractions minimized. This focused approach leads to deeper work and more satisfying progress. It also reduces mental fatigue caused by fragmented attention. Remember that your relationship with technology reflects your relationship with your attention. When you take responsibility for your digital environment, you reclaim your focus, you create space for creativity, problem solving, and meaningful connection. You stop reacting to every beep and start responding to what truly deserves your time and energy. This shift is powerful because it changes how you live your daily life. Ultimately, reducing digital clutter is about respect. Respect for your mind, your time, and your goals. It's a commitment to protecting your mental space in a world designed to pull it apart. It's choosing what serves you and letting go of what doesn't. When your digital environment supports your focus, everything else becomes easier. You become more present, more productive, and more peaceful. Your attention becomes a gift you give to the things that truly matter. Chapter 8. Prioritize tasks that align with your true goals. When life feels overwhelming and busy, it's easy to get caught up in doing a lot without really moving toward what matters most. Tasks pile up, emails flood in, meetings fill your calendar, and before you know it, you're exhausted but not making progress on your real goals. Prioritizing tasks that align with your true goals is not just a productivity tip, it's a way to live with intention and purpose. It's about focusing your energy on what truly moves you forward instead of getting lost in the noise of endless activity. To prioritize effectively, begin by identifying your core goals. These aren't just vague wishes, they are clear, specific outcomes that resonate deeply with your values and vision for your life. Take time to write them down, be honest and precise. When your goals are well defined, it becomes easier to recognize which tasks will help you achieve them and which are distractions disguised as important work. Once your goals are clear, look at your daily to-do list and evaluate each task through the lens of those goals. Ask yourself, does this task bring me closer to my goal? Will it make a meaningful difference in the long run? If the answer is no, consider whether it truly needs your attention or if it can be delegated, delayed, or eliminated. This simple but powerful question helps you cut through the clutter and focus on what's essential. Understanding the difference between urgent and important is crucial here. Urgent tasks scream for immediate attention, but they aren't always important. Important tasks contribute to your long-term success, growth, or happiness, but often don't come with deadlines. Learning to recognize this difference empowers you to say no to urgent distractions that don't align with your goals, and yes, to meaningful work that might not seem urgent but is vital. Building a habit of daily reflection supports prioritization. Each morning or evening, review your tasks and goals. Adjust your plan if necessary. Sometimes priorities shift, and being flexible while staying grounded in your core goals is key. Reflection also keeps you accountable and aware of how you spend your time, helping you avoid drifting into busy work. Breaking larger goals into smaller actionable tasks makes the process less intimidating. When a goal feels big or distant, it's tempting to procrastinate or lose focus. But dividing it into manageable steps turns it into a series of clear actions. Each completed step is a victory that fuels motivation and keeps momentum steady. Prioritizing these smaller tasks ensures consistent progress. Set boundaries around your work to protect focus on prioritized tasks. When you commit to working on a high-priority item, minimize interruptions, close unnecessary tabs, silence your phone, and let others know you're unavailable if possible. Deep focus is rare in a world of distractions, but it's the secret to meaningful accomplishment. Guard your time fiercely. Learn to trust your intuition when choosing what deserves your energy. Your gut often senses what aligns with your values even before your mind fully processes it. If a task or project feels draining or meaningless, question its place on your list. Conversely, if something energizes and excites you, it's likely connected to your deeper purpose. Following this internal guidance helps prioritize what truly matters. Avoid the trap of perfectionism in prioritization. Sometimes waiting for the perfect plan or moment prevents you from taking any action at all. Prioritize progress over perfection. Taking imperfect steps toward your goals is more valuable than waiting to do everything flawlessly. Each action builds clarity, learning, and momentum that can't be gained by standing still. Recognize the power of saying no. Saying no to low-value tasks creates space for what really matters. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if you're used to pleasing others or fearing conflict. But saying no is not about rejection. It's about protection. Protecting your time, your energy, and your focus is a gift to yourself and those who rely on your best. Use tools to support your prioritization. Simple lists, calendars, or apps can help you organize and visualize your tasks, but don't get caught up in tools at the expense of action. The tool is only as good as your willingness to use it intentionally. Find what fits your style and commit to it daily. Celebrate progress, no matter how small. Recognize that every prioritized task completed moves you closer to your true goals. These small wins accumulate over time and build confidence. When you honor your efforts, you reinforce your commitment to living intentionally. It's a cycle that creates forward movement. Remember that prioritization is not a one-time event. It's a continuous practice. Life evolves, goals shift, and new opportunities arise. Regularly reassess your priorities to stay aligned with your vision. This ongoing process keeps your focus sharp and your energy directed toward meaningful growth. When you prioritize tasks that align with your true goals, you reclaim control over your time and energy. You stop reacting to every demand and start directing your life. This shift reduces overwhelm and increases satisfaction. You work smarter, not harder. You become a person who acts with purpose instead of drifting aimlessly. Ultimately, prioritization is a form of respect. Respect for your dreams, your time, and your capacity. It's a commitment to yourself that your goals are worth protecting. When you make decisions through this lens, every task becomes a deliberate step forward. This clarity transforms not just your work, but your mindset, relationships, and overall well-being. Living with this kind of focus requires courage. It means making choices that might disappoint others. It means risking discomfort to honor what's important to you. But the reward is a life shaped by your own intentions, not by outside pressure or random distractions. It's a life where every day is a step toward becoming the person you want to be. This approach makes your goals real and tangible. It brings direction to your efforts and meaning to your actions. It helps you create a rhythm where progress feels natural and consistent. You don't just stay busy, you stay purposeful, and that is the foundation of lasting success and fulfillment. By prioritizing with intention, you build a life where your actions match your values. You protect your energy for what truly matters. You free yourself from the trap of constant distraction and reaction. In doing so, you strengthen your focus and deepen your sense of control. This creates a powerful momentum that carries you toward your highest aspirations every day. Focus, sharpened by wise prioritization, transforms obstacles into opportunities and challenges into growth. It guides your steps with clarity and conviction. It turns your goals from distant dreams into daily realities. This is not just efficient living, it is meaningful living. It is how you cut out the noise and focus on what really matters. Chapter 9. Listen to your inner voice every single day. Every day, your inner voice offers guidance that can steer your life toward clarity and fulfillment. It speaks quietly but persistently, urging you to pay attention to what feels right or wrong deep inside. Yet in the rush of daily demands, external opinions, and constant noise, it's easy to drown out this vital source of wisdom. Ignoring your inner voice leaves you vulnerable to confusion, indecision, and living according to others' expectations rather than your own truth. Learning to listen to it regularly transforms not only your mindset, but also your ability to navigate life with confidence and purpose. Listening to your inner voice begins with creating moments of stillness. It's impossible to hear anything clearly if your mind is racing or cluttered with distractions. Simple practices such as sitting quietly for a few minutes, focusing on your breath, or stepping away from screens give you space to tune in. These pauses help you separate your own thoughts and feelings from the noise around you. When your environment is calm, your inner voice becomes more distinct and trustworthy. Trust is essential in this process. Often people dismiss their inner voice because it contradicts what others say or because it challenges familiar patterns. It may ask you to take a risk, set a boundary, or make a change that feels uncomfortable. This is why listening requires courage. It asks you to confront fears and doubts with honesty. But the more you respond to this voice with openness and respect, the stronger and clearer it becomes. Over time, it builds a foundation of self-trust that supports every decision. Awareness is the key to recognizing your inner voice amidst the chatter. Pay attention to subtle signals, feelings of unease, excitement, or calmness that arise when considering choices. These sensations often carry important information about what aligns with your values. When you notice a consistent pull or resistance about a certain path, that is your inner voice communicating. Acknowledge these feelings instead of pushing them aside or rationalizing them away. They are a direct connection to your deeper wisdom. Journaling can be a powerful tool to engage with your inner voice. Writing without judgment allows your true thoughts to surface naturally. Ask yourself questions like, what do I really want? Or what is holding me back? And write freely without filtering. This practice creates a dialogue with yourself and reveals insights that may be hidden beneath surface-level thinking. Reviewing your entries over time shows patterns and priorities that your conscious mind may overlook. Sometimes your inner voice may challenge societal norms or your current comfort zone. It might call you to pursue a path that others question or to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. This voice honors your unique journey, not someone else's version of success. Listening to it means valuing your individuality and resisting the pressure to conform. It's an act of self-respect that allows you to live authentically. Daily mindfulness practices strengthen your connection to your inner voice. Whether through meditation, focused breathing, or mindful movement, these practices train your attention to stay present and aware. When you are fully present, your intuition is more accessible. It speaks in moments of clarity that arise when your mind is not overwhelmed with past regrets or future worries. Cultivating presence is an ongoing skill that deepens your inner listening. Set intentional time each day to check in with yourself. This could be the first few minutes after waking or a quiet moment before bed. Use this time to ask how you feel about your day, your goals, and your choices. Notice any recurring themes or feelings that emerge. These reflections help you stay aligned with your true self and adjust your actions accordingly. Regular self-check-ins prevent drifting into autopilot and keep your inner voice active. Action follows listening. When your inner voice offers guidance, act on it, even if the steps are small. Taking consistent, deliberate action based on your intuition builds momentum and reinforces trust in yourself. You'll find that the voice becomes clearer with each choice you make in its direction. Conversely, ignoring this guidance often leads to frustration and confusion as your mind tries to compensate for being out of sync with your deeper self. Respect your inner voice by setting boundaries around external influences. Limit exposure to constant opinions, judgments, or media that drown out your clarity. Seek solitude when needed to recalibrate. Surround yourself with people who encourage your authenticity and support your journey rather than demand conformity. A healthy environment nourishes your ability to hear and honor your inner wisdom. Challenges and setbacks may test your faith in your inner voice. Doubts creep in, and fear tempts you to retreat into safety. In these moments, remember that resilience grows by returning again and again to your inner truth. Trusting yourself through uncertainty is a muscle you strengthen with practice. Even when the path isn't clear, your inner voice offers a compass to guide you forward. Listening deeply to your inner voice enriches all aspects of life. Relationships become more genuine when you communicate from your authentic self. Work becomes more meaningful when it aligns with your purpose. Everyday choices gain clarity and intention. Life becomes less about reacting and more about responding with wisdom and confidence. Over time, your inner voice shifts from a quiet whisper to a steady guide. It helps you prioritize what matters, navigate challenges, and make decisions that honor your values. It empowers you to live with integrity and courage. This inner guidance is a lifelong companion that never abandons you, even when the world is loud. You cultivate this relationship by committing to listen every single day. It doesn't require special circumstances, only a willingness to pause, reflect, and be honest with yourself. The more you do this, the more natural it becomes. Your inner voice becomes a source of strength, clarity, and peace amid life's complexity. Ultimately, listening to your inner voice is about reclaiming ownership of your life. It frees you from external expectations and the noise of comparison. It roots you in your own truth and helps you live fully. This practice is the foundation of cutting out the noise and focusing on what really matters. Chapter 10. Cut toxic influences that cloud your decisions. Toxic influences are like fog that obscures your clarity and weakens your ability to make sound decisions. They come in many forms: people who drain your energy, environments that breed negativity, or habits that keep you stuck in unhealthy patterns. These influences don't just distract you, they distort your perception of what's possible and what's right for you. Removing them is a vital step toward gaining mental clarity and making choices that truly serve your growth. Recognizing toxic influences requires honest self-reflection. It means paying attention to how you feel after interacting with certain people or engaging in specific activities. Do you leave feeling drained, anxious, or doubtful? These emotional signals indicate a harmful impact on your well-being. Toxic influences often wear masks of familiarity or obligation, making it hard to see their effect clearly. Becoming aware is the first act of reclaiming control. Cutting toxic influences is an act of self-respect and courage. It can feel uncomfortable because it often involves setting firm boundaries or ending relationships that no longer serve your highest good. Some toxic patterns are subtle: a sarcastic comment disguised as humor or constant criticism framed as concern. Others are overt, like manipulation or disrespect. In every case, the cost to your mental peace and decision-making power is too high to ignore. One of the most important steps is to distance yourself from negative people who consistently undermine your confidence or cloud your judgment. These relationships drain your energy and fill your mind with doubt. Removing such influences doesn't mean you abandon compassion or forgiveness, but it does mean prioritizing your own mental health. You deserve spaces where you can think clearly and feel supported. Toxic influences also appear in your environment. Cluttered, noisy, or chaotic spaces increase stress and reduce your ability to focus. Simplifying your surroundings creates a calm atmosphere that encourages clarity. This applies not just to physical spaces, but also to the media you consume and the digital environments you inhabit. Curate what you expose yourself to with the same care you show your physical space. When you remove toxic influences, you create room for truth and clarity to emerge. Your mind becomes a space where decisions aren't clouded by doubt or manipulation, but guided by your authentic values and goals. This clarity makes it easier to recognize opportunities aligned with your vision and to say no to distractions that lead you astray. It's important to practice compassion toward yourself during this process. Letting go is not a failure, but a courageous step toward health. You're not responsible for others' reactions or the fallout of change. Your responsibility is to your own well-being and to creating a life where your decisions are clear and grounded in truth. As you distance yourself from toxicity, you may notice an increase in mental energy and emotional resilience. Your decisions become more deliberate, less reactive. You gain confidence in trusting your judgment and standing by your choices. This transformation is liberating because it frees you from the grip of confusion and self-doubt. Cutting toxic influences is an ongoing practice. Life brings new challenges, relationships and environments that may test your boundaries. Staying vigilant and committed to your mental clarity ensures you don't slip back into harmful patterns. Each time you reaffirm your boundaries, you strengthen your capacity for clear and purposeful living. Your ability to make sound decisions depends largely on the clarity of your mind and the quality of your influences. By actively removing toxicity, you protect your inner voice and foster an environment where wise choices flourish. This empowers you to navigate life's complexities with resilience and confidence. Chapter 11. Stay consistent with habits that bring real growth. True growth does not come from occasional bursts of effort, but from steady, consistent habits practiced over time. The difference between fleeting progress and lasting transformation lies in commitment to routines that build you up daily. Consistency is what turns small actions into powerful results. It creates momentum and reinforces the mindset needed to keep moving forward when motivation wanes. Without it, even the best intentions can fizzle out and leave you feeling stuck. Consistency requires patience. Real growth is rarely immediate. It unfolds gradually, often without dramatic changes at first. This slow progress can feel discouraging, but it's the foundation of meaningful change. When you commit to doing the right things every day, even when results aren't yet visible, you are planting seeds that will grow into strength, skill, and wisdom. Each day's effort compounds, building a future that reflects your highest potential. Building habits that support growth means choosing actions aligned with your goals and values. These habits might include daily reading, exercise, meditation, journaling, or focused work sessions. Whatever your specific habits are, they must nourish your mind, body, or spirit in ways that push you forward. Avoid habits that feel like quick fixes or distractions, dressed as productivity. Growth-focused habits challenge you to improve and evolve. Consistency also means showing up even when you don't feel like it. Motivation fluctuates naturally, so relying on it alone is unreliable. Discipline carries you through moments of resistance, tiredness, or doubt. When you practice discipline, you develop resilience, the ability to persist despite obstacles. This resilience transforms challenges into stepping stones rather than stumbling blocks. Tracking progress supports consistency. Keeping a journal, checklist, or digital record helps you see how far you've come. Visual evidence of growth inspires continued effort. It also helps identify patterns, successes, and areas needing adjustment. Regular review of your habits ensures they remain relevant and effective. It encourages a mindset of continuous improvement rather than complacency. Accountability strengthens your commitment. Sharing your goals and progress with a trusted friend, mentor, or group creates external support and motivation. Knowing someone else is aware of your efforts makes it harder to quit. Accountability partners can provide encouragement, constructive feedback, and reminders that your growth matters. This social connection adds a layer of commitment beyond your own willpower. Flexibility is important within consistency. Growth is not about rigid routines, but about adapting while staying focused. Life changes and your needs evolve. Adjust your habits when necessary without losing sight of your core purpose. This flexibility prevents burnout and keeps your journey sustainable. It allows you to respond to new opportunities and challenges with grace. Celebrate small wins along the way. Recognizing achievements, no matter how minor, reinforces positive behavior and boosts confidence. These celebrations are not about vanity, but about honoring effort and progress. They remind you that growth is happening, even if it feels slow. Gratitude for your journey fuels perseverance and joy. Consistency also deepens self-awareness. As you engage regularly with growth habits, you learn more about what works best for you. You discover your strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. This awareness guides you in refining your approach and making smarter choices. It builds a stronger relationship with yourself rooted in honesty and care. Avoid all-or-nothing thinking. Growth does not require perfection, only persistence. Missed days or setbacks do not erase progress. What matters is returning to your habits with renewed intention. This mindset reduces shame and discouragement that often derail efforts. It replaces judgment with compassion, creating a supportive inner environment for growth. Incorporate rest and recovery into your habits. Consistent growth is not about relentless pushing, but balanced effort. Adequate rest renews your energy, sharpens focus, and sustains motivation. Recognize when to slow down, recharge, and reflect. This balance prevents burnout and keeps your growth journey healthy and enjoyable. Surround yourself with environments that encourage consistency. Your physical space, social circle, and digital world all influence your ability to maintain habits. Design spaces that minimize distractions and invite focus. Build relationships with people who inspire and challenge you. Curate digital inputs that support your goals. These external factors create fertile ground for consistent growth. Remember that consistency shapes identity. The habits you practice daily become who you are. Each small action aligns with the person you want to become. Over time, these actions shift from deliberate efforts to natural expressions of your character. This transformation creates lasting change beyond temporary achievements. Consistency builds trust in yourself. When you reliably follow through, you prove your commitment and capability. This self-trust empowers you to take on bigger challenges and embrace growth with confidence. It reduces internal conflict and strengthens your sense of agency over your life. Focus on process over outcome. While goals provide direction, it is the daily habits that define your experience. Embracing the process fosters patience and presence. It teaches you to value effort, learning, and adaptation. This mindset turns growth into a rewarding journey rather than a distant destination. Commitment to consistent habits also enhances mental toughness. Facing daily challenges and staying the course develops grit and perseverance. This toughness is crucial when external circumstances test your resolve. It equips you to handle setbacks and keep moving forward with determination. Ultimately, staying consistent with habits that bring real growth is an act of self-love and respect. It honors your potential and your capacity to change. It transforms good intentions into meaningful results. This dedication builds a foundation for success, fulfillment, and a life aligned with your deepest values. Consistency is not easy, but it is the key to cutting through noise and focusing on what really matters. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary progress. It shapes your future by the choices you make today. Commit to this path and watch how small actions accumulate into powerful transformation. Chapter 12. Practice solitude to hear your own thoughts clearly. Solitude offers a rare and powerful opportunity to connect with your inner self, free from external distractions. In the busyness of life, the constant flow of noise from conversations, media, and endless obligations often drowns out your ability to hear what your mind truly thinks or what your heart truly feels. By intentionally carving out moments of solitude, you create a sacred space where your thoughts become clear and your inner voice gains strength. This practice is essential for anyone committed to self-improvement and focused living. Choosing solitude is not about isolation or loneliness. It is a deliberate act of stepping away to recharge and realign. In solitude, you can slow down the whirlwind of your daily life, allowing mental clutter to settle and priorities to sharpen. This clarity helps you distinguish between fleeting emotions and enduring values, guiding you toward decisions grounded in authenticity rather than reaction. Solitude encourages deep self-reflection. When alone, without the influence of others, you can examine your beliefs, fears, and desires with honesty. This reflection reveals patterns that might otherwise remain hidden amid external noise. You begin to understand what drives you, what holds you back, and what you truly want to pursue. Such insight is the foundation of meaningful growth. To practice solitude effectively, set aside regular, intentional time for yourself. This can be as simple as sitting quietly for 10 minutes a day, or taking a solitary walk without distractions. The key is consistency. When these moments become routine, your mind learns to enter a calm, receptive state more easily. Over time, you'll notice your thoughts are less scattered and more focused. During solitude, avoid the temptation to fill silence with distractions like phones or music. Instead, embrace the stillness. Let your mind wander and observe where it naturally goes. This practice helps you become familiar with your mental landscape, your hopes, worries, and creative impulses. Awareness of these elements increases your ability to choose responses rather than react impulsively. Solitude also enhances your capacity for mindfulness. Being fully present with yourself strengthens your connection to the moment and reduces anxiety about past or future concerns. This presence sharpens your intuition, allowing you to recognize subtle signals from your inner voice. You gain greater clarity about what matters most in your life and how to act accordingly. Challenges may arise when embracing solitude, especially if you're accustomed to constant stimulation. Feelings of restlessness or discomfort are common at first, but often diminish with practice. These sensations can signal the beginning of deeper self-awareness as you confront thoughts or emotions previously ignored. Facing this discomfort is a sign of progress, not failure. Use solitude as a time to journal or record your thoughts. Writing what emerges during these quiet moments externalizes your inner dialogue and deepens understanding. Over time, journaling reveals recurring themes and shifts in perspective, helping you track your growth and clarify your path forward. Solitude nurtures creativity and problem-solving. Without outside input, your mind can generate new ideas and solutions unclouded by others' opinions or biases. Many breakthroughs happen in moments of quiet reflection when the mind is free to explore possibilities. By dedicating time to solitude, you invite these creative insights into your life. Developing a practice of solitude builds mental resilience. When you regularly engage with your inner world, you become less dependent on external validation and distractions to feel grounded. This independence strengthens your confidence and helps you maintain focus even when outside circumstances are challenging. Balance solitude with social connection to support your well-being. While time alone is vital, healthy relationships nourish and inspire growth. Knowing when to seek solitude and when to engage with others is part of cultivating a balanced, fulfilling life. Both aspects contribute to cutting out the noise and focusing on what truly matters. Incorporate solitude into your daily routine in ways that suit your lifestyle. It might mean waking up earlier to enjoy quiet moments before the day begins, or taking breaks during work to breathe and reset. Experiment with different approaches to find what helps you connect best with your inner self. As you practice solitude more deeply, you'll notice increased patience and clarity in your interactions. Decisions become less reactive and more considered. Your sense of peace grows, providing a steady foundation amid life's uncertainties. This calm presence supports long-term success and personal fulfillment. Solitude sharpens your awareness of your true needs and desires. When external noise fades, you can hear your inner voice guide you toward actions aligned with your highest good. This guidance helps you avoid distractions and stay focused on your meaningful goals. Cultivating solitude is an act of self-care and self-respect. It honors your right to mental space and emotional clarity. By dedicating time to yourself, you strengthen your ability to show up fully and authentically in all areas of life. Ultimately, solitude is a powerful tool for anyone seeking to cut out the noise and focus on what really matters. It offers clarity, creativity, and connection with your deepest self. Making solitude a regular practice transforms your inner world and your outer life, enabling you to live with intention and purpose. Chapter 13. Focus deeply on one goal at a time. When you scatter your attention across many goals at once, progress becomes slow, frustrating, and often incomplete. Focusing deeply on one goal at a time is the key to unlocking true achievement. This approach harnesses your energy, sharpens your effort, and creates momentum that carries you steadily forward. Concentration on a single target allows your actions to build upon each other rather than dissipating in different directions. Choosing one goal requires clarity and commitment. It means prioritizing what matters most right now and giving it your full attention without distraction. This decision demands discipline because multitasking and juggling many objectives are common habits in modern life. However, spreading yourself thin reduces the quality of your work and the impact of your efforts. Deep focus produces mastery and meaningful results. When you commit to a single goal, break it down into clear, actionable steps. This structure keeps your progress measurable and manageable. Having defined milestones prevents overwhelm and helps maintain motivation by allowing you to celebrate small wins. It also provides a clear roadmap, so you know exactly what needs to be done next, keeping distractions at bay. Deep focus requires protecting your time and energy. Designate specific blocks in your schedule solely for working on your goal. During these periods, minimize interruptions by turning off notifications, closing unrelated tabs, and informing others of your need for focus. Creating a distraction-free environment is essential to enter a state of flow where productivity and creativity peak. Patience plays a vital role in focusing on one goal. Results may not appear immediately, but consistent effort compounds over time. Avoid the temptation to switch goals prematurely because of impatience or momentary difficulty. Sticking with one objective deepens your skills, builds confidence, and increases your likelihood of success. Developing routines supports sustained focus. Establish habits around working on your goal daily or weekly. Regularity trains your mind and body to expect and prepare for productive sessions. This consistency reduces resistance and makes progress more automatic, less dependent on fluctuating motivation. Reflect on your progress regularly, evaluate what's working and what needs adjustment. This reflection keeps you connected to your goal and allows you to refine your approach. It prevents drifting or wasting energy on ineffective strategies, ensuring your efforts remain aligned and efficient. Recognize that focusing on one goal doesn't mean ignoring other areas of life. Balance is important, but the intensity of your effort should center on your priority. Other tasks can be delegated, postponed, or minimized temporarily. This strategic focus increases your overall effectiveness and reduces burnout. Avoid distractions that pull you away from your chosen goal. These may include new shiny opportunities, social media, or well-meaning advice that doesn't align with your focus. Train yourself to evaluate these distractions critically and return your attention to what matters most. Celebrate milestones to fuel motivation. Acknowledge your dedication and progress, no matter how small. These celebrations reinforce your commitment and provide positive feedback to your brain, making it easier to sustain focus over the long haul. Commitment to one goal strengthens your decision-making. You learn to say no to competing interests and prioritize actions that serve your purpose. This clarity reduces stress and confusion, empowering you to move forward with confidence. Deep focus cultivates mastery and expertise. The concentrated effort over time deepens your knowledge and skills in the chosen area. This mastery builds credibility and opens doors to new opportunities related to your goal. Resist the urge to multitask. Studies show that switching between tasks reduces productivity and increases errors. Focusing on one thing at a time allows you to work more efficiently and with greater quality. Mindfulness enhances your ability to maintain focus. Being present during your work helps prevent your mind from wandering. Techniques such as mindful breathing or short meditation before starting a session can prime your attention. Accountability supports your focus. Sharing your goal and progress with a trusted person or group encourages you to stay on track. External support provides encouragement and gentle pressure that reinforces your commitment. Visualize the outcome of your goal regularly. Imagining the successful achievement creates emotional motivation and strengthens your determination. This mental rehearsal helps your brain prepare for the real actions needed. Learn to manage setbacks with grace. Challenges are inevitable, but focusing on one goal teaches resilience. When obstacles arise, assess them calmly, adjust your plan if needed, and continue forward without losing sight of your priority. By focusing deeply on one goal at a time, you cultivate discipline, clarity, and purpose. This focused approach cuts through the noise of competing demands and distractions. It enables you to make meaningful progress and experience the satisfaction of accomplishment. Ultimately, this practice fosters a mindset of intentional living. You train yourself to invest energy wisely, avoid overwhelm, and achieve success through deliberate, concentrated effort. The habit of deep focus transforms your productivity and enriches your journey toward what truly matters. Chapter 14. Let go of approval and live your own truth. Seeking approval from others often pulls you away from your authentic self and keeps you trapped in a cycle of external validation. Letting go of this need is essential to living your own truth and experiencing true freedom. When your sense of worth depends on others' opinions, your decisions become reactive and compromised. Releasing this attachment allows you to reclaim your power and make choices rooted in your genuine beliefs and values. This process starts with awareness of how much influence approval holds over your life. Notice when you change your behavior, hide your feelings, or suppress your ideas to please others. These moments reveal how approval shapes your actions and limits your expression. Understanding this influence is the first step toward breaking free. Accept that you cannot control others' judgments or reactions. Trying to win everyone's approval is a futile pursuit that drains your energy and dilutes your identity. Instead, focus on honoring your inner voice and staying true to your convictions. This shift is liberating because it places responsibility for your happiness within yourself rather than outside forces. Cultivate self-acceptance as a foundation for letting go of approval. When you deeply accept yourself, including flaws and imperfections, you become less vulnerable to external criticism. Self-acceptance breeds resilience, making it easier to face disapproval or rejection without losing your sense of self-worth. Practice setting boundaries that protect your authenticity. Saying no to requests or expectations that don't align with your values is an act of courage and respect for yourself. Boundaries create space for you to live according to your own truth, without being pulled in conflicting directions. Surround yourself with people who respect your authenticity and encourage your growth. Supportive relationships nurture your confidence and reduce the pressure to conform. Distance yourself from those who demand conformity or criticize your individuality. Develop inner validation through daily reflection and positive self-talk. Affirm your worth independently of others' opinions. Remind yourself that your value is inherent and not earned through approval. This mindset strengthens your ability to stand firm in your truth. Embrace the discomfort that may come from rejecting approval. Fear of rejection or conflict can tempt you to retreat into pleasing others. Recognize these fears, but choose to act anyway. Growth requires stepping into discomfort and trusting your inner guidance. Live your truth openly and consistently. Express your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs honestly, even when it challenges norms or risks disapproval. This authenticity attracts opportunities and relationships aligned with your genuine self. Letting go of approval frees you from comparison. When you stop measuring your worth against others' standards, you focus on your own path and progress. This freedom enhances your peace of mind and satisfaction with life. Understand that living your own truth is a lifelong commitment. It requires ongoing reflection, courage, and resilience. Challenges will arise, but each act of authenticity strengthens your foundation and expands your freedom. By releasing the need for approval, you unlock your potential to live a meaningful and empowered life. This choice brings clarity, confidence, and peace. It allows you to focus on what truly matters, your own growth, happiness, and fulfillment. Chapter 15. Track your progress daily and adjust with purpose. Adjustment is a natural part of any growth process. When you track your progress with purpose, you can make informed decisions about what to change. Maybe a particular strategy isn't working, or you need to allocate time differently. Being flexible and responsive ensures your efforts remain aligned with your evolving goals. Purposeful adjustment means you don't change course based on frustration or doubt, but based on clear evidence. This discipline reduces impulsive decisions and keeps you steady. It also encourages a mindset of learning rather than failure. Each obstacle becomes feedback, guiding you toward smarter actions. Tracking progress daily enhances focus. It requires you to clarify your priorities regularly and stay committed to them. This clarity helps resist distractions and reinforces the habit of working toward meaningful outcomes. The simple act of checking in with yourself grounds your efforts in reality. Consistency in tracking builds self-trust. When you reliably monitor your growth, you prove to yourself that you are serious about change. This trust strengthens your confidence and perseverance over time. It shifts your mindset from hoping for results to expecting progress. Make daily tracking a non-negotiable part of your routine. Schedule it at a time when you can reflect calmly, such as before bed or first thing in the morning. Creating a habit ensures it doesn't get skipped or forgotten, which would diminish its effectiveness. Incorporate questions that provoke honest and meaningful reflection. For example, what did I do well today? What could I improve? What distracted me? What lesson did I learn? These questions deepen your understanding and keep you engaged with your process. Celebrate small victories discovered through tracking. Acknowledging even minor successes fuels motivation and joy. It reinforces positive behavior and creates a rewarding feedback loop. This positivity supports sustained effort and growth. Tracking progress and adjusting purposefully also guard against burnout. By paying attention to your energy and achievements, you can recognize when to rest or change pace. This balance keeps your journey sustainable and enjoyable. Seek support if needed. Sharing your progress with a mentor or accountability partner can provide encouragement and perspective. External feedback complements your self-assessment and offers new insights. Remember that tracking is a tool, not a burden. Its purpose is to empower you, not create pressure. Approach it with curiosity and kindness toward yourself. This attitude transforms tracking from a chore into a source of strength. Over time, the habit of daily tracking sharpens your decision-making skills. You become more strategic and intentional in your actions. This clarity accelerates your progress and deepens your sense of control over your life. Tracking and adjusting cultivate a growth mindset. They teach you that progress is a journey of continuous learning and refinement. This mindset opens you to new possibilities and resilience in the face of challenges. Ultimately, daily tracking and purposeful adjustment are essential practices for anyone serious about cutting out noise and focusing on what really matters. They provide the structure and insight needed to turn intention into action and dreams into reality. Chapter 16. Remove emotional baggage that keeps you stuck. Emotional baggage weighs down your mind and spirit, making progress difficult and joy elusive. Carrying unresolved feelings, past hurts, regrets, or anger creates invisible chains that hold you back from living fully. Removing this baggage is not about ignoring emotions or pretending they don't exist, but about facing them honestly and letting go with intention. Freeing yourself from emotional burdens opens space for growth, peace, and clarity. The first step in releasing emotional baggage is recognizing what you are carrying. These feelings often hide beneath the surface, influencing your thoughts and behavior without your awareness. Take time to reflect on recurring negative emotions or patterns that limit your happiness. Awareness creates the opportunity for change. Accepting your emotions without judgment is crucial. Avoid labeling feelings as good or bad. Instead, see them as information messages from your inner self, signaling what needs attention. This acceptance creates a compassionate inner environment where healing can begin. Pushing away or suppressing emotions only prolongs suffering. Explore your emotional baggage through self-inquiry. Ask yourself where certain feelings originated and how they affect your current life. Journaling can be a powerful tool for this exploration, allowing you to express and process thoughts safely. Honest reflection reveals connections between past experiences and present challenges. Seek to understand the impact of emotional baggage on your decisions and relationships. Often, unresolved feelings distort perceptions and cause reactions based on old wounds rather than reality. Recognizing these influences empowers you to respond more consciously and break unhealthy cycles. Forgiveness plays a vital role in releasing emotional burdens. This includes forgiving others who have hurt you and forgiving yourself for mistakes or perceived failures. Forgiveness is not about excusing harmful behavior, but about freeing yourself from resentment and pain. It restores your power and peace. Create rituals or practices to symbolically release emotional baggage. This might involve writing letters to express and then burn or discard them, meditation focused on letting go, or physical activities that help move energy through your body. These actions reinforce your intention to move forward unencumbered. Replace old emotional patterns with positive habits. Cultivate gratitude, kindness, and self-care to nourish your emotional well-being. These new habits build resilience and create a foundation for lasting freedom from past pain. Set boundaries to protect yourself from reaccumulating emotional baggage. Learn to say no to toxic influences and situations that trigger negative emotions. Protecting your mental and emotional space supports continued healing and growth. Seek support if needed. Therapy, coaching, or support groups provide guidance and tools to process emotions safely and effectively. Professional help can accelerate healing and provide perspective you may not access alone. Practice mindfulness to stay present and aware of emotional states without becoming overwhelmed. Mindfulness helps you observe feelings without getting caught up in them, creating distance that facilitates release. Understand that removing emotional baggage is a gradual process, not a one-time event. Patience and persistence are essential. Celebrate small steps of progress and be gentle with yourself during setbacks. Recognize the freedom that comes from emotional release. Without the weight of past pain, your energy becomes available for creativity, connection, and purposeful living. This freedom enhances focus on what truly matters. Reclaim your narrative by choosing how you interpret past experiences. Shift from victimhood to empowerment by seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. This perspective transforms emotional baggage into wisdom. Maintain regular emotional check-ins to prevent old burdens from accumulating again. Make it a habit to process feelings promptly rather than allowing them to fester. This ongoing care sustains your mental and emotional health. Ultimately, removing emotional baggage is an act of self-respect and commitment to your well-being. It clears the path for clarity, focus, and resilience. Free from these weights, you can move forward with confidence toward a life aligned with your deepest values and goals. Chapter 17. Invest time only in things that build you. Time is your most valuable resource, and how you invest it shapes the quality of your life and future. Choosing to spend time only on things that build you means focusing your energy on activities, relationships, and habits that contribute to your growth, well-being, and purpose. This approach demands discernment and intentionality because time wasted on distractions or negativity drains your potential and clouds your vision. Start by assessing how you currently spend your time. Track your daily activities honestly and identify what truly adds value versus what simply fills space. This clarity reveals opportunities to eliminate or reduce engagements that don't serve your highest good. When you know where your time goes, you regain control over your life's direction. Investing time wisely begins with prioritizing yourself. Engage in practices that develop your mind, body, and spirit. Reading, learning new skills, exercising, and mindfulness are examples of activities that build a strong foundation. These investments pay dividends in resilience, creativity, and confidence. Surround yourself with people who uplift and challenge you. Meaningful relationships nourish growth and provide support. Choose connections that encourage positive habits and inspire you to be better. Avoid those who drain your energy or distract you from your goals. Set clear boundaries around your time to protect it from unnecessary demands. Learning to say no is essential for maintaining focus on what builds you. Each yes to something less important is a no to something more valuable. This discipline strengthens your ability to invest time wisely. Engage in work and projects aligned with your values and passions. When your efforts reflect your authentic self, they become fulfilling rather than draining. This alignment fuels motivation and sustains your commitment over the long haul. Limit time spent on entertainment or social media that provides little growth. While relaxation is necessary, passive consumption without intention can become a trap. Choose leisure activities that refresh you and contribute to well-being rather than numb or distract you. Create daily routines that incorporate building activities. Consistency compounds small efforts into significant progress. Whether it's a morning walk, journaling, or focused learning, these routines anchor your day and promote steady growth. Reflect regularly on how your time investments impact your life. Adjust your focus as needed to stay on track. This awareness ensures you remain aligned with your evolving goals and values. Be patient with the process. Growth is gradual and requires repeated, intentional investment. Avoid the temptation to seek quick fixes or shortcuts that don't build lasting strength. Remember that investing time in yourself is not selfish, but necessary. You cannot pour from an empty cup. Prioritizing your development enables you to contribute more effectively to others and your environment. Stay curious and open to new opportunities that support your growth. Continuous learning and adaptation keep your life vibrant and forward-moving. Celebrate progress made through intentional time investment. Acknowledge the positive changes and renewed energy that come from focusing on what truly matters. Ultimately, investing time only in things that build you is an act of respect for your potential and purpose. It clears away distractions and fuels a meaningful, empowered life. This commitment transforms your days and shapes a future aligned with your highest aspirations. Chapter 18. Build mental strength through daily personal reflection. Building mental strength is a vital part of personal growth and resilience. One of the most effective ways to cultivate this strength is through daily personal reflection. Taking time each day to examine your thoughts, feelings, and actions enhances your awareness and empowers you to respond rather than react. This practice strengthens your mind's ability to face challenges with calmness and clarity, enabling steady progress toward your goals. Daily reflection creates a space where you can step back from the rush of life and evaluate your experiences. It allows you to see patterns in your thinking and behavior that either support or hinder your well-being. By observing these patterns regularly, you gain insight into what drives you and where adjustments are needed. This self-knowledge builds confidence and reduces confusion. The process begins with carving out a consistent time and place for reflection. Whether in the morning, evening, or during a quiet moment, this commitment signals to your mind that reflection is important. Creating this ritual helps train your brain to slow down and focus inward, even amid external demands. During reflection, ask yourself honest questions. What went well today? Where did I face difficulties? How did I handle them? What emotions arose, and why? These inquiries promote deeper understanding of your responses and encourage learning. Being truthful with yourself without judgment is essential. It transforms reflection from self-criticism into constructive growth. Writing down your reflections enhances this process. Journaling captures your insights and emotions, making them tangible and easier to review over time. It also serves as a record of your journey, highlighting progress and areas for improvement. Regularly reading past entries provides perspective and motivation to continue growing. Reflection fosters emotional intelligence. As you notice your feelings and triggers, you become better equipped to manage them consciously. This awareness prevents impulsive reactions and promotes thoughtful decision-making. Emotional balance is a cornerstone of mental strength. Through reflection, you can evaluate your goals and priorities. Are your daily actions aligned with your larger purpose? Are distractions creeping in that divert your energy? This clarity helps you recalibrate and stay focused on what truly matters. It also nurtures discipline by reinforcing commitment to your path. Facing uncomfortable truths during reflection builds courage. Acknowledging mistakes, fears, or limitations is challenging but necessary for growth. Mental strength grows when you confront these realities rather than avoid them. This bravery develops resilience and self-trust. Reflection enhances problem-solving skills. By reviewing challenges calmly, you can identify patterns and solutions more effectively. It shifts your perspective from feeling overwhelmed to feeling capable. Over time, this mindset strengthens your ability to navigate uncertainty. Incorporate gratitude into your reflection. Recognizing positive moments and strength balances your view and fosters optimism. This positive outlook fuels motivation and mental endurance during tough times. Avoid rushing through reflection. Taking time to explore thoughts fully deepens understanding and prevents superficial conclusions. Quality over quantity matters. Even a few thoughtful minutes can make a significant difference. Use reflection to reinforce learning from experiences. What lessons did today offer? How will you apply them moving forward? This approach turns daily life into a continuous classroom for personal development. Reflection also supports mindfulness. It trains you to be present and attentive to your inner world. This presence reduces stress and improves mental clarity, contributing to overall strength. Share insights gained through reflection when appropriate. Talking with trusted friends or mentors can deepen understanding and provide support. However, ensure that reflection remains primarily a personal, honest practice. Be patient with yourself during this process. Mental strength develops gradually through consistent effort. Some days may bring frustration or doubt, but persistence is key. Each reflection session builds a stronger foundation. Guard against harsh self-judgment during reflection. Approach yourself with kindness and curiosity. This compassionate stance encourages growth rather than discouragement. Reflection empowers you to take responsibility for your mental state. It shifts control inward, reducing dependence on external circumstances or validation. This ownership is a powerful source of resilience. Make reflection a non-negotiable habit. Its benefits compound over time, enhancing your ability to focus, adapt, and persevere. This practice equips you to handle life's challenges with steady determination. Ultimately, building mental strength through daily personal reflection is an investment in your freedom and effectiveness. It clears mental clutter, sharpens your insight, and anchors you in your purpose. This habit transforms how you think, feel, and act, creating lasting change and deeper fulfillment. Chapter 19. Design each day around your highest values. Designing each day around your highest values transforms ordinary moments into meaningful steps toward a fulfilled life. When your daily actions align with what matters most to you, your energy flows naturally and your sense of purpose deepens. This alignment isn't accidental. It requires conscious effort and clarity about what you truly stand for. Living in harmony with your values grounds your decisions and sharpens your focus, cutting through the noise and distractions that cloud your mind. Begin by identifying your core values with honesty and reflection. Values are the principles that guide your behavior and shape your priorities. They might include integrity, growth, kindness, family, or creativity. Knowing these helps you measure your daily choices against what truly matters. Once you understand your values, translate them into specific daily intentions. Ask yourself, how can I honor my integrity today? Or, what action will support my commitment to growth? This question shifts your mindset from aimless activity to purposeful living. Intentions become touchstones that help you prioritize tasks and interactions throughout the day. Design your schedule to reflect these intentions. Allocate time to activities that resonate with your values and avoid those that don't. For example, if connection is a priority, carve out moments to engage deeply with loved ones or colleagues. If learning is central, dedicate time for reading or skill development. Structuring your day this way turns abstract values into concrete actions. Be willing to say no to things that conflict with your values. This often requires courage and discipline because you may face pressure to conform or please others. However, protecting your values safeguards your mental clarity and emotional well-being. Saying no is a form of self-respect and an investment in your authentic life. Use reminders and rituals to keep your values front and center. Visual cues, journaling prompts, or morning reflections can reinforce your commitment. These small practices keep your purpose vivid and prevent slipping into autopilot. Observe how aligning your day with your values affects your mood and energy. When your actions are congruent with your principles, you feel more energized, confident, and calm. This natural flow reduces internal conflict and builds momentum toward your goals. Adjust your daily design as your understanding of your values evolves. Life changes, and so do priorities. Regularly revisiting and refining your values ensures your daily focus remains relevant and inspiring. Flexibility paired with commitment keeps you moving forward. Engage in mindful awareness throughout the day to check if your actions reflect your values. When distractions arise or you feel off course, pause and realign. This practice deepens your connection to your purpose and strengthens self-discipline. Recognize that living by your values doesn't mean perfection. Challenges and mistakes will occur. What matters is the consistent effort to realign and learn from these experiences. This persistence builds integrity and resilience. Use your values as a compass during difficult decisions. When faced with uncertainty or pressure, grounding yourself in what matters most clarifies the best path. This clarity reduces anxiety and strengthens resolve. Celebrate moments when you successfully live according to your values. Acknowledge the satisfaction and peace that come from authenticity. These positive feelings reinforce your commitment and motivate continued alignment. Recognize the broader impact of living by your values. Your consistency influences others and contributes to a culture of integrity and purpose. This awareness adds meaning and accountability to your efforts. Commit to designing each day intentionally rather than reacting to circumstances. This proactive stance empowers you to shape your experience and destiny. Intentional living fosters confidence and a strong sense of agency. Ultimately, making your values the foundation of daily life cuts through the noise and distractions that fragment your attention. It centers your mind and spirit on what truly matters, creating a clear, purposeful path forward. This design leads to a life marked by meaning, clarity, and lasting satisfaction. Chapter 20. Commit fully to the life you truly want. Committing fully to the life you truly want is the most powerful decision you can make to cut out the noise and focus on what really matters. It means stepping beyond hesitation, doubt, and distraction to embrace your purpose with unwavering dedication. This kind of commitment requires clarity about your desires, courage to face obstacles, and persistence to continue even when progress seems slow or difficult. Living fully committed frees you from the trap of half measures and scattered attention, allowing you to move with purpose and confidence. Begin by clearly defining what your true life looks like. This requires deep reflection and honesty about your values, passions, and goals. Avoid vague ideas or societal expectations that don't resonate with your inner self. A clear vision becomes a beacon that guides your choices and actions, making commitment easier because you know what you are moving toward. Once you have this vision, declare your commitment. This can be a silent promise to yourself or a spoken declaration to trusted friends or mentors. Making your commitment explicit strengthens your resolve and creates accountability. It shifts your mindset from tentative wishing to determined action. Understand that full commitment demands embracing both the rewards and the challenges. The path to your true life will have setbacks, distractions, and moments of uncertainty. Instead of avoiding these, accept them as natural parts of growth. This acceptance builds resilience and prepares you to navigate obstacles without losing sight of your goals. Break down your vision into actionable steps and integrate them into your daily life. Commitment is not a single event, but a continuous process of showing up and doing the work. Each small step reinforces your dedication and builds momentum. Consistency transforms effort into lasting change. Guard against distractions and competing priorities by regularly revisiting your commitment. Reflect on your progress and realign your actions with your vision. This ongoing evaluation prevents drifting and strengthens focus. It also reignites motivation when enthusiasm wanes. Surround yourself with support systems that encourage your commitment. Positive influences provide encouragement, perspective, and inspiration. They hold you accountable and remind you of your purpose during challenging times. Choose relationships and environments that uplift and align with your vision. Cultivate discipline as a foundation of commitment. Discipline is the ability to keep going even when motivation fades. It requires setting boundaries, managing time wisely, and resisting temptations that divert energy. Developing discipline builds confidence and empowers you to stay on track. Embrace failure as a teacher rather than a setback. Fully committing means risking mistakes and learning from them. This mindset removes fear and encourages experimentation and growth. Each failure becomes feedback that refines your approach and strengthens your resolve. Visualize the life you want regularly. This mental practice reinforces your commitment by keeping your goals vivid and emotionally charged. Visualization builds belief and prepares your mind to recognize opportunities and solutions. It creates an emotional connection that fuels persistence. Maintain self-compassion throughout your journey. Commitment does not require perfection, but steady progress. Be kind to yourself during struggles and avoid harsh self-criticism. This compassion sustains your mental and emotional health, allowing you to continue without burnout. Make decisions aligned with your commitment, even when they are difficult. Saying no to distractions, unhealthy relationships, or unproductive habits honors your dedication. These choices protect your energy and time, making room for what truly matters. Celebrate milestones and progress to reinforce your commitment. Recognize the effort and growth you have achieved, no matter how small. These celebrations boost morale and remind you why you chose this path. Stay curious and open to learning. Commitment to your true life involves adapting and evolving. New insights, experiences, and challenges shape your journey. Embracing change keeps your commitment dynamic and relevant. Develop a daily routine that supports your vision. Structure and habits create stability and reduce decision fatigue. When your environment and schedule reflect your commitment, it becomes easier to maintain focus and energy. Avoid comparing your journey to others. Commitment is personal and unique. Focus on your progress and trust your timing. Comparison only distracts and diminishes confidence. Remember that commitment is a declaration of your worth. By choosing to invest fully in your life, you affirm your value and potential. This belief fuels further dedication and empowers you to overcome barriers. Recognize that commitment to your true life is an ongoing process. It requires renewal and reaffirmation, especially during difficult seasons. Each day is an opportunity to recommit and strengthen your path. Ultimately, fully committing to the life you truly want is the foundation for cutting out distractions and focusing on what matters. It unleashes your power, sharpens your focus, and aligns your energy with your deepest desires. This commitment transforms dreams into reality and creates a life of purpose, joy, and fulfillment.